So we have two graphs. I'll call this graph A and I'll call this graph B. Graph A, we're looking at the cost of a student membership at a community center. And at graph B, we're looking at the student membership at a fitness club. Just by looking at those two graphs, can you tell me one difference between the two graphs, and one thing that's the same? Okay, so you know that one of them is direct and one of them is partial. How do you know that? So we know direct has to start at 0, 0. So which graph is direct variation? A. So the community center has a direct relationship. And partial, can you tell where it starts by looking at the graph? It starts at 0 and what? 0 what? Can you tell? 100. So that would be graph B. Okay, so that's one thing that's different between the two graphs. One's direct and one's partial. We explained it over here. Is there anything that you can tell me that's the same about the two memberships? They are both positive. Is one of them linear and one of them nonlinear, or are they both linear? They're both linear. Good. So you just discovered that because it starts at 100, you're telling us that you have to pay $100 just for the membership?
Yeah, then in community center, like it's over time, not for each other.
So we know that the fitness club charges a membership fee, and then you're going to pay per month, because we're looking at what the payment is per month. And the community center is you're just paying monthly. You don't have to pay an initial fee to join the club. You can just drop in, like you said. So you just pay monthly.
But that's for
I want you to fill in the table up to 12 months. So just fill this in, and you're going to look at each one, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this is graph A, and this is graph B. So you can start with graph A. I'll do the first one with you. If you don't go at all for 0 months, how much do you pay for graph A? 0, right? 0, 0. Now, for 1 month, I want you to look on your graphs because it's hard for me to see here. For 1 month, what is the cost for 1 month? $10 for 1 month. For 2 months, where does it hit the line? $20, yes. For 3 months, $30, correct. What is it going up by every single time? 10. Good, so you can fill in the table. Okay, so we can fill in the table, and is this true for 12 months? Look here. We found that it costs $120. Yes, that's correct. That point is on the line. So it's going up by $10 every single month. How much does it cost per month to go to the community center? $10 a month. Okay? So you're going to do graph B now. Remember, graph B does not start at 0, 0. Where does it start?
100.
It's $100 for the student membership. And then every month, what does it go up by? How much is it if you go for 1 month? It goes up by 10. So you're actually paying $110 just for 1 month at this gym because you had to pay the $100 membership fee. Okay, 120 for month 2, 130. Let's double check. For 12 months at the fitness club, you're going to end up paying $220. That's correct. Which membership would you choose? A or B?
A.
Who would choose B? Anyone? So looking at graph A, the community center, how would you describe the cost of that to me in words? What would you tell me? We've already talked about it, but what would you say about the community center? We would say that it's direct. What else would you tell me about the community center? That was graph A. How much does it charge per month? Charges $10 per month for a student membership. That's how you would describe it, right? In words.
Wait, there's a student membership for it?
We know that the community center charges $10 per month. So which of the following equations would represent that membership? Is it represented by 100 plus 10M? Or is the cost represented by 10M? Or is it represented by 100M? C represents the cost, and what does M represent? Number of months. So think about which equation you think represents the student membership for $10 per month. Raise your hand if you think it's A. Raise your hand if you think it's B. Who thinks it's C? Excellent. It's B. Because it's showing $10 per month. There's no additional fee. We already talked about it being direct. The cost and the month is directly related to one another. There's no additional fee involved. Okay? Okay, so go back to the fitness club plan. That was the one that did not start at the origin. How would you describe that to me in words? Is it direct or partial? Okay? And how can you explain the cost and the months? What would you say to describe that? That at the fitness club, you have to pay a fixed fee of $100 no matter what. Even if you don't go, you still have to pay that $100. Plus, then what? How much do you have to pay per month?
100.
Per month.
What's 100?
$10 per month for a student membership. Okay? So you're not just paying $10 a month, you had to pay an initial fee, a fixed fee of $100 just to join.
A.
Can the equation be represented by B?
No.
No, because we already used that for the first one, and we know it's not direct. It has an initial value plus a constant multiple of the independent variable. So, would it be represented by C? Is it $100 per month?
No.
Is it A?
Yes.
Why?
Because because
You're paying what?
100
Fixed fee of 100
and then
plus $10 per
Per
month. It does not start at the origin. Where does it start? Starts at 0, 100, and it has a fixed rate plus a variable rate. Okay, so I'm giving you some equations that represent partial variations. How do you know these are partial? Is the relation made up of just the two variables that are directly related to one another, or does it have an initial term plus a variable term? It has an initial term and a variable term. So what you're going to tell me right now is what is the fixed term, I'm going to call it F, and what is the variable term for each one? Okay, so you're going to fill this in right now. You can put F and V, fixed term, variable term for each one. So think of the fixed term as your starting point. The fixed term is the constant number. It's the number that does not have a variable attached to it. It does not change. Okay? Think of it as your starting point. So in the first example, I have T equals 0.4D plus 5. Which term there is my fixed term? Which term won't change? Which one's fixed?
5.
Shania? 5, good. And it's a positive 5. You don't have to put positive, but you have to include the sign. If it's negative, it would be negative. What is the variable term?
0.4.
0.4, not D, just 0.4. That's the variable term, okay? It has a variable attached to it, so it's going to change as the variable changes. Amira said 22.5. Excellent, that's correct. What's the variable term? Amira said 0.15. Raise your hand if that's what you got for the variable term. Incorrect. What's missing? No. Nope, we don't include the variable. Negative. The variable term is negative. Is this graph going to increase or decrease then?
Negative. No.
It's going to decrease. Your variable term is your rate of change. That's what the graph is going to change by. Excellent. Negative 20. So the graph would actually start at negative 20. And then what is the variable term? What is the rate of change? Well, does it change by? Positive 25. Excellent. See how you can look at the equation and figure out what the graph would look like? And the very last one, Isla? What's the
Fixed is negative 62 and the variable is 14.
14? Positive or negative?
Positive. Negative.
Negative. Look at the equation.